Hi and welcome back. Up to now, we learned how to create EPS, OBS, how to link EPS and OBS, how to create a calendar, how to create a project, how to create WBS and activities inside the project which we created. In this session, we are going to learn critical path. Okay, this is the method by which Primavera calculates dates for activities. Okay, let's start. This is the list of activities in our project. Okay, all the 12 activities which we mentioned in our previous sessions. Let's assume for each activity we need this much durations. Okay. Now I am going to explain critical path method using some visual methods. Now before starting this presentation, you need to understand some of the terms which I am using throughout this presentation. This blue rectangle box represents an activity and activity name will be written here in center. Now in top left corner you will see early start ES. Now what is early start? Early start is the earliest time an activity can start in a project. Now this will be explained in depth when we start the presentation. Okay. Now in top right corner we can see early finish EF, which means the earliest time an activity can finish. Here in bottom left corner late start, which means late time an activity can start. Then in bottom right corner late finish, late time an activity can finish. Now here duration, which means the duration needed for an activity to complete. Okay, so duration needed for an activity. Here float. Float means the amount of time an activity can be delayed without delaying the project. Now float means the allowed time for an activity to delay from its planned date without affecting the project's end date. Don't worry about all these terms. We are going to start explaining all these in depth. Okay, let's start. Throughout our presentation, we will be using this box format. Our presentation will be filled with this. Okay. So the first activity in our project is site preparation. Okay. Now after site preparation, we will start three activities in parallel, which are the garden area preparation, piling column works, and compound wall foundation. I hope you remember these. Now after finishing garden area preparation, fertilized soil and planting will be there. Then after finishing piling column works, roof concreting and block work plastering. After finishing compound wall foundation, compound wall block work and compound wall plastering works. After finishing block work, plastering and compound wall plastering, painting, electrical, plumbing works will be there. Now after finishing this painting, electrical, plumbing works and planting, we will hand over the house. Okay. So these are the 12 activities in our project. Now we are going to start date calculation. This is duration for an activity. So we are giving durations for all activities listed here. For site preparation it's 3 days, for garden area 4 days and so on. Okay. Now site preparation. The duration for site preparation is 3 days. Now let's assume this activity is starting on day 1. It can be any month. Let's take an example Feb. So site preparation is starting on Feb 1. Now Feb 1 is early start here. Okay, it's the early started ES. It is the earliest day this activity can start. It cannot be started before that. If this activity starts on 1st and it will take 3 days for finishing, when will this activity finish? It will finish on 4 Feb, right? 1 plus 3, 4, right? No. Let's calculate in another way. First day this activity will start. Okay. First day it will start, then it continue on second day, third day, 3 days complete. So this activity will complete on third day evening, right? So the finish date of this activity is 3rd Feb. In calculation point of view, it will be early start plus duration minus 1 gives 3. Okay. So 3rd Feb is early finish for site preparation. It cannot finish before that. Now next 3 parallel activities start immediately after finishing site preparation. Site preparation finishes on 3rd February. It means these 3 activities starts on 4th Feb. So early start for these 3 activities is 4th Feb. Now, what will be the early finish for garden area preparation? Early start is 4, duration 4. So 4 plus 4 minus 1. Early finish is 7. So early finish of garden area preparation is 7. It cannot finish before 7. I hope you understand the calculation. Think logically. Garden area preparation will start on 4. Then it will continue to 5, 6, 7, 4 days. So it will finish on 7th. Okay, what is the early finish for piling column works? 9. What is the early finish for compound wall foundation? 6th. Okay, I hope now you understand the calculation. Okay, next fertilize soil. When will it start? 8th. Why? Garden area preparation finishes on 7. So next day it will start. So 8. Now, when will fertilize soil finish? 10th. Why? Duration 3 days. So 8, 9, 10. So 10th it will finish. Fertilized soil finishes on 10th. So planting will start on 11th. Now duration for planting is 4 days. So 11 plus 4 minus 1, 14th it will finish. Next, roof concreting. Now piling column works finishes on 9th. So roof concrete will start on 10th. Now duration is 2 days. So roof concreting will finish on 11th. Okay. Block work and plastering. Roof concreting finishes on 11th. So block work and plastering will start on 12th. So this activity starts on 12th. It will take 7 days for completing. So finish will be 18th. Next, compound wall block work. When will it start? Compound wall foundation will finish on 6th. So next day 7th compound wall block work will start. Now duration 4 days. So finish date will be 10th. If block work finishes on 10th, next day compound wall plastering will start, right? So 11th compound wall plastering will start. Now finish date 11 plus 2 minus 1, 12th. Okay. Now block works and plastering, compound wall plastering. After finishing these two works only, painting, electrical, plumbing works will start. So what is the start date for this activity? Block work will finish on 18th. Compound wall plastering will finish on 12th. So these two activities will finish on two different dates. Now, after finishing these two activities only, this activity will start. So what will be the start date here? Can it start on 13th? Because plastering finishing on 12th. So after 12th, 13th. Is it possible? These two activities need to get finished for starting this one. This activity will finish on 18th only. Okay. So how can we start painting electrical works on 13th? It is not possible. Here in this case we need to wait for the latest finish date. So here 18th. So 19th this will start. So here after finishing compound wall plastering, this painting, electrical, plumbing works will not start. It will wait for block work and plastering to get finished. So 19th only this one, painting, electrical, plumbing works will get start. So in summary, these two must finish before starting this. After 12th this will not start because this is not finished. So after 18th only painting, electrical, plumbing works will start. 19th this activity will start. So 19th it will start, duration 5 days. So it will finish on 23rd. Next is handover. It will start only after finishing painting, electrical, plumbing works and planting work. Okay. So after finishing these two, handover will start. Here this activity will finish on 23rd and this one on 14th. So we need to apply same logic as of here. Out of these two, planting will finish first, but handover will not start after planting. Why? Because of this activity. Now handover will wait up to 23rd. Then only it will start. So it will start on 24th. Duration is 1 day. So same day it will finish. So finish date is 24. Up to now we calculated two dates, ES and EF. ES means early start and EF means early finish. Now early date means we can start or finish activities on this early date or point only. We cannot go earlier than these early dates. This calculation method is called forward pass. The method for calculating early dates in a project is called forward pass. Now we have three pending calculations. These late start, float and late finish. Next we are going to calculate late dates. Now, for calculating early dates, we moved forward. But for calculating late dates, we are going to move backwards. So, for calculating late start and late finish, we are going to start from back. So, let's start. When will handover finish? 24. So, the late finish of this activity is also 24. From now onwards, let's forget about these early dates. We don't need to look at them. Okay. We will start with this late finish and this activity duration. Then we will go backwards calculating all other late dates. So just ignore early dates. Let's concentrate on late dates only. Now let's start. Handover is finishing on 24. Now if we want handover to finish on 24, when should it start? Duration is 1 day. So handover should start on 24. Then only it will finish on same day. I hope you understand that. So the late start for handover is 24. We have two activities before handover, planting and painting electrical plumbing works. Okay. Now the question is, when should these two activities finish for getting handover to start on 24? 23, right? So this activity need to finish on 23 and this also need to finish on 23 for getting handover to start on 24. So 23 and 23. What will be the start date if painting, electric and plumbing works finishes on 23rd? It should be 19, right? Why? The duration is 5 days. So 23 minus 5 plus what? 19. Okay. If handover needs to start on 24, planting should finish on 23rd. Now, if planting need to finish on 23rd, when should it start? 20, right? Why? Because duration is 4 days. When should fertilized soil finish for planting to get start on 20? It's 19, right? If fertilized soil finishes on 19th, when should it start? 17th. Because the duration is 3 days. So 19 minus 3 plus 1, 17. For starting fertilized soil on 17th, we need to finish garden area preparation on 16th. For finishing this activity on 16th, we need to start on 13th because duration is 4. Next is block work and plastering. What should be the finish date for this activity if we want to start painting, electric and plumbing works on 19th? 18th, right? If we want to start this on 19th, this activity should finish on 18th because both are linked. So here late finish 18. So late start should be 12 because duration 7. Next, roof concreting. What should be the late finish? So here the late start for block work is 12. So the late finish here is 11. It's finishing on 11. So it should start on 10 because duration is 2 days. Next, piling and column works. Late finish here is 9 because roof concreting is starting on 10th. Now, the late start for piling column works is 4 because duration is 6. Next is compound wall plastering. When should compound wall plastering finish? If painting, electric, plumbing work starts on 19th. 18, right? So this one finishes on 18 and this one starts on 19th. If this finishes on 18, it should start on 17th because the duration is 2 days. Compound wall block work should finish on 16th. If we want to start compound wall plastering on 17th. Here the late start is 13 because duration is 4. Late finish for compound wall foundation is 12. Then only we can start compound wall block works on 30. Okay. Here the late start is 10 because duration is 3 days. Now our first activity in this project, site preparation. What should be the late finish date for site preparation if we want to start these three activities on their late start date? Here, garden area preparation works should start on 13th. Piling column works should start on 4. Compound wall foundation works should start on 10th. So this one on 10th, this one on 4 and this one on 13th. These three activities should start on these dates. Then what should be the finish date, the late finish date for site preparation? Garden area preparation starts on 13th. So let's say site preparation is finishing on 12th. So that garden area preparation can start on 13th. But if this activity finishes on 12th, we cannot start this on 4th. Also, we cannot start this compound wall foundation on 10th. Okay. We want to start this activity on 10th. So let's say this activity finishes on 9th. If this activity finishes on 9th, can we start garden area preparation on 13th? Of course we can, because there is enough time. If we finish this on 9, can we start piling works on 4? No. So we cannot start this activity as planned. We can start this activity because after 9 we can start it on 10th. In this case we can start this one and this one, but cannot start this one. If we are finishing site preparation on 3rd, we can start piling column works on 4th, we can start garden area preparation on 13th and compound wall foundation on 10th. For calculating the late dates with multiple activity linking, we always take the early date. For early date calculation, we always take the latest date. For example, here 18 and 12. Out of this, we select 18 for calculating this 19. For late date calculation, we always take the earliest date. For example, here we took 4 for calculating the late finish for site preparation. So here the late finish is on 3rd. Now for finishing this activity on 3rd, it must start on 1st because the duration is 3 days. This method of calculating late dates on backward direction is known as backward pass. So forward pass and backward pass. On forward pass we calculated early start and early finish. On backward pass we calculated late start and late finish. Before going to the difference between early and late dates, we have one more field for filling. This one. It's called float. Now, float is the difference between early and late dates. Either early start and late start or early finish and late finish. Both will give same answer only. So for finding float, either you need to take the difference between starts, early start and late start, or take the difference between finishes, early finish and late finish. Now let's calculate the float for each activity. For site preparation it's 0. Why? 1 minus 1. Or we can say 3 minus 3. Both give same answer only. Next, garden area preparation. Float 9. Why? 13 minus 4. Or we can say 16 minus 7. Both gives 9. For piling and column work 0, 4 minus 4 or 9 minus 9, 0. For compound wall foundation 6, 10 minus 4 or 12 minus 6, 6. Okay. Like that, here we calculated all floats. Here the float is 9, 17 minus 8 or 19 minus 10. Now here also 9, 20 minus 11. So we calculated the floats for all activities. Now here the calculation for all these 6 fields completed. Early start, duration, early finish, late start, float and late finish. Now let's understand how to use these data in real world projects. Here let's take an example, fertilized soil. Now for fertilized soil, the early start is 8 and late start is 17. Suppose the month is February. So Feb 8 is the early start for fertilized soil and Feb 17 is the late start for fertilized soil, which means we can start this activity fertilized soil on 8th Feb and can complete on 10th Feb. Instead of 8, we can delay this activity up to 17th without delaying the project finish. Here our project ends on 24th. When this project delays, this 24 will change to 25, 26 and so on. Okay, so in every project, one of the main goals is not to change the project end date. Even if our activity fertilized soil didn't start on 8, our project will not delay. Let's understand that. Suppose instead of 8 it starts on 9, then the finish will be on 11th. If this is 11, then planting start will be on 12th. That will change the finish to 15. Will this change affect this handover date? No. Handover will wait up to 23 for getting start. Now suppose this planting finish is on 24. Then what will happen? Handover will change to 25 and the project will delay. Now again, the early start for fertilized soil is on 8th. The late start is on 17th. That means early start date for this activity 8 can be delayed up to 17th. So 17 is the limit. If this 17 becomes 18, then this project will delay. So the point is, instead of 8, this activity can start on 9, project will not delay. It can start on 10, project will not delay. It can start on 11, 12, 13, 14, 16 up to 17. This project will not delay. But after 17, say 18, then this one 20, then planting start on 21 and planting finished on 24, which will change handover to 25. So our project delayed. I hope you got the point. This is the difference between early start and early finish. Same logic works on early finish and late finish also. Early finish for fertilized soil is on 10th, but we can delay this finish up to 19th without delaying the project. If 19 changes, our project will delay. Suppose 19 becomes 20, then our project will delay. If this becomes 20, then this one 21, this one 24 and this one 25. Project delayed. I hope you understand the difference between early start, late start, early finish and late finish. Let's take another example, planting. Now the late start for planting is 20. This means we can delay planting start up to 20 without delaying project. Also the late finish for planting is 23, which means we can delay planting finish up to 23 without delaying the project. Okay. Now some of the activities here have same dates. See here, for roof concreting the early start is 10, also late start is 10. That means we have to start this activity on 10th itself. Further delay in this activity will lead to delay of project. Here we can see same dates for some other activities also. Now let's talk about float. Here we can see these activities have 9 days as float, here 0 and here 6. Different floats. Float means the number of days an activity can delay from its early date without delaying the project. We can delay planting up to 9 days from its early dates without delaying the project. Compound wall plastering we can delay 6 days without delaying project. Here float is 0 for block work and plastering, which means this activity has no float and cannot delay a single day. I hope now you got an idea about all these terms. Early start, duration, early finish, late start, float, late finish. Early start means how early an activity can start. Late start means how late an activity can start without delaying project. Now, early finish means how early an activity can finish. Late finish means how late an activity can finish without delaying the project. Float, the amount of time an activity can delay from its early dates without delaying the project. Now, let's have a look at all activities with 0 float. Site preparation 0, piling column work 0, roof concreting 0, block work and plastering 0, painting, electrical, plumbing 0 and handover 0. This line of activities or chain of activities or path of activities with 0 float is known as critical path. Each activity in this path is known as critical activity. All these red highlighted activities are with 0 float. This path of activities with 0 float is known as critical path. All projects will have a critical path. When we execute a project, we will give high priority to these critical path activities. Delay in any critical path activity will delay the project. When we use Primavera, there is no need for calculating all these. We only need to provide duration, relationships and the project start date. Then Primavera will calculate early start, early finish, late start, late finish and float. In this session, I try to explain critical path as simple as possible. Let me know if you have any doubts.